Do you think you need a big and expensive camera to take decent underwater footage? Well, if that's the case, then you might want to stick around for today's video, as I will show you a piece of equipment that will make your compact and point and shoot cameras really versatile tools to film your underwater adventures. Coming up. Hey there underwater filmmakers, it's great to see all you smiling faces and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we will look at and review a piece of equipment that will make your compact and point and shoot camera so much more versatile for filming and taking photos underwater. The piece of equipment that I'm referring to is this one here. It's WEEFINE's WFL02 ultra wide angle conversion lens. Now let's first of all talk about what this exactly is. The WFL02 by WEEFINE is a wet lens, meaning that you can take it off and put it onto your underwater housing even while being underwater, and that makes it really useful because now you don't really have to decide whether you want to be shooting wide angle or just regular stuff before getting into the water. Being an ultra wide angle conversion lens, this means that using such a lens on your camera underwater will give you a much wider field of view compared to not using one of these. Specifically, the WFL02 by WEEFINE has been made to be used with point and shoot and compact cameras that have a focal length of 24 millimeters. This is the range where it works best. You're gonna get a really wide field of view, about 150 degrees, and there's not gonna be any vignetting on the outer edges of your image. If you go any wider than that, let's say if your camera allows you to go to maybe 18 millimeters even, and you use that lens on such a camera, well, you can still use it, but you're likely to get some vignetting on the outside of your pictures, of your images. You can go further in, so for example, you can use it at 28, maybe even 35 millimeters. You can zoom all the way in without any trouble and you'll still get a nice, sharp and good looking picture. During my recent trip to Bonaire Island, as we were doing our last underwater videography workshop there, I had the chance to try out the WFL02 by WEEFINE in combination with my TG6 from Olympus and the WEEFINE housing for the TG6. And that, I can tell you, is a fantastic combination. The quality of imagery that you can get out of that combination is absolutely fantastic. And the TG6 is one of those cameras that I would highly recommend to be used in combination with such a lens. Why is that the case? Well, very simply, because cameras like the TG6, compact point and shoot cameras, they do fairly well at taking good photos and videos at sort of a short distance. So if we're talking at taking macro shots or sort of mid shots, then they're performing quite well. But as soon as you want to take some wide angle shots, they're struggling. And that's where these wide angle conversion lenses come in really handy. Because putting one of these in front of your camera will then enable you to get much, much closer to the subject. Here our suitcase fish, the subject that you want to capture. Being closer to that subject has quite a few advantages. First of all, you will eliminate any excessive water in between the subject and your lens. Therefore, the image is gonna get a lot clearer. You're gonna get a lot less chance of getting backscatter or any particles in between your object and yourself. But at the same time, you'll still be able to capture the entire scene, the entire subject, even though you're fairly close to that subject. So for these kind of situations, a ultra wide angle or wide angle conversion lens like the WFL02 by WEEFINE are the perfect tool and will make any compact or point and shoot camera so much more versatile. These lenses are great also if you're trying to do some close focus wide angle shots where you have an object that is fairly close to the lens and then you've got an open background that you want to capture inside your scene as well. Now with the compact cameras, because they can focus on a very short distance, you will be able to put focus onto that that main element that is right in front of your lens while you're still gonna have everything else in the frame, and that makes for a really interesting composition that way. Now obviously there is a lot of different options for these wide angle conversion lenses out on the market from all different manufacturers, and there is some that perform better and some that perform worse, mostly to do with how they're constructed and the optical quality of the glass and the lenses and how they're built. Now I can quite confidently say that the WEEFINE by WEEFINE is definitely one of the best wide angle conversion lenses that I've tried so far in my underwater filming career. What I really like about this lens also is that it's not a fisheye lens, meaning because it is a wide angle conversion lens, it will keep any lines that are present in your footage, it will keep those straight and we won't bend those lines like a regular fisheye lens would do. And I'm not a big fan of the fisheye look, so I really prefer having any lines that are supposed to be straight, to have them represented and keep them straight in your footage as well. Also, I do really enjoy that the sharpness of this lens is exceptional in my opinion. Throughout the entire zoom range, as well as from one side to the other of the image, it is tech sharp, which I really enjoy and makes it just a pleasure using this lens and getting the results by using this lens. While we're talking about this lens, we should probably also talk about the key features of it. One of the main features is its magnification, which is 0.47 times, meaning that you'll have more than twice as wide of a field of view compared to not having that lens on, and you can get twice as close to your object and still have the object inside your frame by using this wide angle conversion lens. It is made from corrosion resistant aluminum, at least the outer side of it, which is touching the water is made out of that material. You have optical glass elements that form the lenses, and they are all multi-layer coated to help you reduce flares, reflections, glaring, all that sort of stuff. The dome is a optical grade polycarbonate dome. It's rated down to 60 meters and it comes with a little protection here for the glass or for the dome there, and it also comes with a little travel bag where you can put that lens inside, close it up, and you've got a nice little package that you can carry with you, specifically for like air travel and stuff like that. This is really convenient. You can just put it inside your bag and you're good to go. One thing that I don't like too much about this lens is that it is fairly heavy. It's okay underwater. It's only got about 260 or something grams of negative lift underwater. That's okay, you can work with that, you can level that out, but it's nearly 1 kilo of weight on land. And even though that doesn't sound like much, but if you're traveling with camera gear, a kilo of extra gear is quite a lot of extra weight that you're carrying with you, and with the allowances or the dropped allowances of airlines and them being more restrictive on how much weight you're taking with you on air travels, this might be a bit of an issue for some people. So just keep that in mind. It is nearly 1 kilogram of extra weight that you're taking with you by choosing to bring that on a dive vacation that you're having to go to by plane. And last but not least, let's talk about the price. I definitely want to mention that here as well. Currently, this lens sells for about $450 US, which is not cheap really, but it's not overly expensive either. Personally, I think that this lens and the quality of footage that you can get out of using this lens with your point and shoot or compact camera, it's well worth the investment of those $450 US roundabout. If you want to learn more about the lens and have a closer look at all the specifications and such, I will put a link down in the video description below that will take you to the WEEFINE website where you can see all the specifications, all the descriptions and everything regarding the WFL02 by WEEFINE. So before we bring this video to an end, let's come to a summary. Who do I think this lens is made for? Who do I think is gonna benefit from this lens the most? And do I give this lens a thumb up or not? Well, if you've watched the video, you might guess correctly that I do like this lens a lot, and I would definitely give it even 2 thumbs up. I think it is a really good product, high quality product that is gonna help you capture high quality footage by using a compact or a point and shoot camera underwater. It is definitely not something very cheap, but I think, as I said before, the investment is worthwhile if you want to get high quality imagery, photos and videos with your compact and point and shoot cameras underwater. Personally, I think that this is a great tool for someone who's already started with underwater videography or photography, has sort of covered the basis of it and is trying to get more creative and capture some more spectacular shots while filming or taking photos underwater. By still using the same basic point and shoot or compact cameras that you've been using so far and adding a wide angle conversion lens like the WFL02 by WEEFINE, you will just widen up the possibilities of different shots that you can now take with pretty much the same setup underwater by quite a bit. So for these type of people, I think this is a great investment. Also, for everyone who doesn't really want to buy and carry around a huge underwater camera setup, just getting a small TG6 with a housing and that lens is just gonna be a stellar underwater camera setup to get some really good shots without having to carry a whole lot of gear with you on your trips. So there you have it. That's pretty much all I've got for you for today. Hopefully this video, this review, they were useful to you and you got something out of it. And if that's the case, please do not forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel so you're not missing out on any future content that will be uploaded here. If you do want to improve your underwater filmmaking skills, consider joining us for our upcoming underwater videography workshop in Egypt in November this year. All the information about the workshop and the link to the trip brochure, they will be down in the video description below. If you cannot make it to Egypt, but you still want to improve your underwater videography skills, consider looking at my online underwater videography course as well. This is going to be linked down in the video description below. Thank you so much for your time and for watching. Enjoy capturing your underwater adventures, and I will see you next week.